Fill in the blank number 2. Mary's motionless, meditating moment. Mary's motionless, meditating moment. Now, can I make a confession? Thank you. Those who may wonder what my primary love language is, I will tell you, and we haven't even gotten to them yet, but I will tell you anyway, is encouraging words and gift giving. Okay, you want to love me? Write me a little note that says, "Good job. Take me to a candy bar, stick it in my box. I am loved." Okay? No problem. Get me a can of sarsaparilla from Pennsylvania and an old car magazine. I'm loved. Okay? It's easy. Guess who I married? Mrs. Quality Time. Okay? This is a conflict. For years, I gave her flowers, I wrote her notes, and I tried speaking my love language to someone who knows speaking my language. Well, all she wanted was me and my undivided attention for 10 to 15 minutes a day. This really shouldn't be a problem until you try to marry undivided attention and attention deficit disorder. I sit down on the couch and I say, "I am ready to completely focus on you." Look at that bird. It's the way it happens sometimes. But in time, I came to realize if I want to love my wife, I need to learn to speak her language. Now, I'm going to skate out on some very thin theological ice now. You ready to go skating with me? Here we go. I believe Jesus Christ has a primary love language, and I believe it's quality time. Jesus spent huge amounts of time being alone with God and being alone with people one-on-one. Do you remember Nicodemus? Do you remember the woman at the well? Do you remember the rich young man? He gave all these people focused quality time. And in fact, even on the night he was betrayed, he turned to his disciples and said, "Stay with me. Stay with me." I believe Jesus still does need quality time. Did you know Jesus wants quality time from you and me? How do you get it? Simply by reading His Word and praying on the two-way radio. I'll explain that in a little bit. But as an added illustration, in my office, I have a speakerphone. But it's ironic because it's only a one-way speakerphone. In other words, I put it on speakerphone, and I can hear the people, but the people can't hear me. Sometimes I think that's the way our relationship can get with God. He can hear us just fine, but we can't hear Him. Why? Quality time. Sometimes that's the way it goes. It should be easy, but then we get distracted. Now, Martha was irritated that her sister didn't share her love language. For Martha, the most natural and in her mind the most valuable way to love was to serve. And everybody knew it. Pride can poison your love language when you think your love language is the only way to love. All the love leaks out. Because suddenly your loving is about you and not about the other person. Love always focuses on the other and the preciousness of others. I would like for you just to look back over at verse 40. Lord, don't you care? I would like for you just to imagine for a moment telling the man who had touched the leper, Lord, don't you care? The man who had fed the hungry, the man who had given sight to the blind, the man who had given sound to the deaf, the man who had raised the dead, Turning to Him and saying, Lord, don't you care? That should ring hollow in our ears. But Jesus indeed lets Martha know that He cares. And He cares enough to share some truth with her that is very powerful and completely contained in verses 41 and 42, if you'd like to follow along. Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things, but only one thing is needed. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. Fill in blank number 3. Jesus just juxtaposed judgment. Jesus' just juxtaposed judgment. If you'll forgive me, my art major bled through there. Juxtapose is kind of an artsy term that we use when we put up two subjects, when we put up two things beside each other, and we visually hold them up. And it may be surprising. It may seem strange. This is what Jesus did when He held up Martha's acts of service beside Mary's quality time. Mary had chosen what was better. Mary chose to love Jesus with the love language of quality time. I believe Jesus considered it better because it was His primary love language, and it was how He felt loved the most. Here is some hard truth. That is still true today. You can serve all you want. You can give all you want. You can do all sorts of stuff. But unless you have and maintain an intimate quality time with Jesus Christ, your relationship will suffer and your love will grow cold.